All right, folks, welcome back to another deep dive. And today we're going to be diving into some AI news stories.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting.
I love AI.
Yeah. So we've got articles here from Wired, The Verge, TechCrunch. So we've got a pretty good variety of sources, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's going to be pretty fun.
Looking forward to it.
So let's just jump right in. This first story is about Apple's AI news alerts.
Okay.
And apparently they've been having some problems with reporting false information.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was one case where it reported that a suspect in a murder case had shot himself,
Oh, wow.
which he had not actually done.
Oh, no, that's a pretty big mistake.
Yeah, pretty big blunder.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting because, AI is always portrayed as this like super intelligent force
Right.
in movies and stuff. But then in reality, it's like struggling with these basic tasks.
It's kind of ironic, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this whole like AI news alert going rogue thing?
Well, I mean, it highlights the need for human oversight, I think.
Yeah.
You can't just rely on AI to disseminate news accurately without any human intervention.
Yeah, I mean, imagine getting your news from an AI that thinks Elvis is still alive.
That would be something else.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So Apple's AI needs a fact checker,
At least.
maybe a subscription to Snopes.
Yeah, probably.
But okay, so it gets worse.
Oh.
So remember those times when you swear your phone's listening to you?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Well, it turns out it might actually be true,
Oh, no.
at least if you're an Apple user. Siri. Apple's virtual assistant has been caught eavesdropping on private conversations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Apple had to pay $95 million to settle a lawsuit.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's like Siri applied for a job at the NSA
And
got rejected, so it decided to freelance instead.
oh, that's funny.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on this whole data privacy issue?
Well, I think this lawsuit is a major development because it sets a legal precedent for how tech companies handle voice data.
Yeah.
So we might see stricter regulations and more transparency about data collection practices in the future.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of creepy to think that our devices are always listening.
It is a little unsettling.
Yeah. Siri, I know you're in there listening, so can you at least offer me some fashion advice while you're at it?
Maybe Siri can be our personal stylist.
Right.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. This whole thing is making me rethink my relationship with my phone, though.
I feel that. Okay, so moving on from Apple, let's talk about NVIDIA.
Oh?
They've been making some big moves in the AI world lately, especially with their new chips that are designed for robots.
NVIDIA chips for robots.
Yeah,
That's pretty wild.
I know, right?
Like, I always think of NVIDIA as the company behind my graphics card.
Right.
But now they're basically building brains for robots.
Exactly.
But tell me more about these chips. Like, what makes them so special?
Well, they have a ton of processing power, and they're built with this specialized architecture
Mm-hmm.
that allows robots to learn and adapt and potentially even outsmart us one day.
Oh, great. That's just what we need.
I know, right? It's a little scary, but also exciting.
It's like they're playing real-life SimCity, and we're all just the Sims in their game.
That's a good analogy.
But hey, as long as those robots can make me a decent cup of coffee, I'm not complaining.
Well, we might not be seeing robot baristas just yet,
Okay.
but these chips are definitely a game changer for robotics.
Oh, so.
Well, they allow robots to process information in real time and make decisions on the fly
Okay.
and navigate complex environments.
So we're talking like self-driving cars, robots working in factories, maybe even robots exploring space.
Exactly. Think about the possibilities in healthcare, too, like
Yeah.
robot surgeons.
Well, hold on a second. Robot surgeons.
Yeah.
That's kind of terrifying.
I know, it's a little freaky, but also amazing.
Yeah. I mean, imagine a robot surgeon performing heart surgery
Right.
while simultaneously making you a cappuccino.
That would be something.
It's like the future of medicine, or maybe just a really expensive way to get a latte.
Could be both.
But seriously, though,
Yeah.
this raises some important questions.
Like what?
Like, what happens when one company controls so much of the AI hardware market?
That's a valid concern.
It's like giving someone the keys to the robot kingdom.
Exactly. And the more powerful these AI chips become, the more we need to think about the ethical implications.
Right, because a robot uprising led by a biased algorithm doesn't sound like a good time.
No, it does not.
So maybe we should focus on teaching robots to be good citizens before we hand them the scalpel and the coffee machine.
I agree.
Okay, so speaking of things that are a little unsettling,
What now?
Meta has been trying to get in on the AI action too.
Meta as in Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook's parent company.
Oh, right.
And let's just say their attempts have been a little
A little what?
Cringeworthy.
Oh, really? What did they do?
So they tried to launch these AI-generated influencers on Instagram.
AI influencers?
Yeah.
That's a new one.
And the internet was not impressed.
Like, at all.
Not at all. It was like they took everything annoying about real influencers.
The fake tans, the product placements?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then multiplied it by 1,000 by making them AI-generated.
So basically, they created the ultimate cringe fest.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's interesting because it shows that people are becoming more aware of AI, and they're not always comfortable with it, especially when it's trying to imitate something that's supposed to be authentic.
Yeah, I think people crave real connections and real experiences.
Absolutely.
A perfectly curated AI influencer just doesn't cut it.
It's like that uncanny valley thing.
Yeah, where something is almost human, but not quite.
And it just creeps everyone out.
Exactly like a robot that's trying too hard to smile.
I can picture it.
But hey, maybe Meta can repurpose those AI influencers as like virtual therapists.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Right, because we could all use someone to talk to these days.
True, even if they are just lines of code.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of companionship, have you heard about the rise of robot pets?
Robot pets, like a Tamagotchi on steroids.
Not quite. These are sophisticated robots that are designed to mimic real pets.
So like robot dogs and cats?
Yeah, exactly.
Huh. I guess that makes sense for people who can't have real pets.
Right, like people with allergies or who live in apartments that don't allow pets.
Or maybe people who are just afraid of stepping on a squeaky toy in the middle of the night.
That too.
Okay. I'll admit the idea of a robot dog that doesn't need to be walked or fed is kind of appealing.
Right.
But it also makes me wonder, are we getting so attached to technology that we're willing to replace real furry companionship with a bunch of circuits and sensors?
It's a good question to ask ourselves, I think.
Yeah. Is a robot pet really a pet?
It might provide some of the same benefits,
Like what?
like companionship and entertainment,
Okay.
but it's not the same as having a living, breathing animal.
Right. There's a difference between a robot dog fetching a virtual ball
Yeah.
and a real dog showering you with slobbery kisses.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about Apple and NVIDIA and Meta.
Yeah, some of the big players in the tech world.
Yeah, and it seems like AI is everywhere these days.
It really is.
But it's also clear that AI is still in its early stages.
Yeah, definitely.
There are a lot of glitches and a lot of room for improvement.
It's like giving a toddler a chainsaw.
Whoa, that's a pretty intense analogy.
I know, but it's kind of true.
Okay, I see what you mean. There's potential there, but also a lot of room for things to go wrong.
Exactly, and the examples we've talked about today really highlight that.
Yeah, like Apple's AI news alerts reporting false information.
Right.
And Siri eavesdropping on private conversations.
And Meta's creepy AI influencers.
Oh, yeah, it's enough to make you wonder if we're putting too much faith in this technology.
Well, I think it's important to approach AI with a healthy dose of skepticism,
Okay.
but also with a sense of excitement because there's so much potential there.
So basically, we need to treat AI like that friend who means well,
Hmm.
but sometimes spills their drink at parties.
Yeah, keep them around for the entertainment value, but maybe don't give them access to your bank account.
Exactly. I like that analogy.
And it's crucial to remember that the future of AI is not predetermined.
Oh.
It's being shaped by the choices we make today.
So what can we do to make sure that AI is used for good?
Well, we need to be mindful of the ethical implications, and we need to address potential biases in AI algorithms.
Right, because the last thing we need is a world ruled by robot overlords who are programmed to believe that pineapple on pizza is a good idea.
That would be a nightmare.
I know, right? So to all our listeners out there, the next time you encounter a glitchy AI, don't just shake your head and laugh. Ask yourself, how can we make this technology better?
That's a great point.
How can we ensure that it serves humanity and not the other way around?
Because the future is in our hands.
Yeah. And if we can laugh at the absurdity of it all, maybe we can navigate the complexities of AI with a bit more grace and a lot less existential dread.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI.
It's been a fun one.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, for sure. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay tuned.
And don't forget to laugh a little along the way.